So this time we're going to start with stocks. Looking at the S&P 500 on the monthly. And you can see there's absolutely nothing sickly looking about this chart. We had the big move down from December of 2021 into the closing low of September of 2022. So sort of a 9-month downtrend, and this battered a lot of people. Created a lot of bearishness as we fell from around the 4,800 region to the 3,486 region, and we're up massively since then, and we're up back at 4,100 now from 3,500, so a 600 points rally. 3 months, 4 months of pretty relentless chop that people have found very frustrating. Is this an inverted head and shoulders? Head, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline? And we explore deeper into the retracement on the wick of this candle here, but then we've closed high and we've closed above all these key monthly pivots here. So let's thicken that up. And then above, there's another one coinciding with all this pivot action here. Here and here. And well, we were going to look at the weekly. Let's keep looking at the monthly. That's an important level. That's an important level. Keep sticking those up. It's been a while since I've mucked. It has been a while since I've mucked up. I've been doing really well in my trading recently. It's been a while since I've marked up the monthlies on stocks and things like that. I have been focusing. I focused on oil for a bit, on crude, and now I'm more focused on silver, which we'll get into. Later. Here's the weekly. We are above these highs. We are coming into this distribution area where it wicked out for 3 weeks, where it wicked out for a month before dropping. But we have broken this candle here, this up candle, this up week in the overall downtrend that led to the plunge candle. We've broken through it and we've closed above it. And this is going to be like another level of support here at 40, 48 or thereabouts. So we better mark that on. Hopefully things aren't getting too cluttered. I would say under 40, 48 might swing me bearish in terms of price action. The daily, you can see this lovely back test of all this action here, right deep into it, and on a long-term diagonal here that's lining up with all this cluster of price action here, pivoting on the diagonal. It's a low, it's a low, it's a low. And on the daily, obviously, you saw we had the double bottom on the momentum of the RSI of price volume trend. Beautiful double bottom coming in here. If it draws it, yep, look at that, perfecto. At support, at that important support. So this was a great time to try some buys. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Up we go. Above these highs, and we didn't pull back. We broke above these dojis, above these wicks, and we just ploughed right on through. We've not distributed, we've not slowed down. What about coming in here? You see I marked a red arrow on here to indicate I thought we were now entering a downtrend with the break of this key level. We're back above it. Let's just keep on going. Let's go down to the 6 hour. I don't know how accurate I'd say this trend, this sort of channel line is, but it sort of fits If anything, we might need to extend it a bit, but we're right at the top of it. But maybe we're going to speed up, maybe velocity will increase of the move, and we'll break out of the channel, I don't know. Let's pop that on there. Extend this one. It does fit quite nicely, I think so. You can see these VWAPs acting as pivots. Yeah, so at least on the sort of longer time frames, now is not ideal buy territory. We are breaking out, we are going into new highs, but that's not an ideal time to buy, unless you're going to run things very tight and assume that the momentum is so strong it will just continue and you won't need a wide stop. You can see we've got support here, 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 but that's, you know, that's 60 points, 70 points. How wide do you really? You know, but on the chart, this is the strong upwards momentum that is the breakout. So if you're going to buy the breakout, I mean, you'd have to go really local in terms of your lows here, here. Even then, you know, that's 40, 50 points worth. Anyway, we're down on the 15 now, so let's go back up to the 2 hourly. 2 hourly is a good balance. And Nasdaq, let's look at another index. Nasdaq on the monthly. I mean, look at this. Pronounced positive divergences all over the place. Inverted head and shoulders on RSI. Breakout, breakout. On momentum, then on price. You can see the extremes of the channel, and then the mid zone being tapped, and then running all the way through, so supporting, resisting, holding it down. It entered it, it got pushed back down, little stab down, back into the candle bodies here, and then up, thrust up. Not a weak looking chart, unless it sort of reverses and plunges almost immediately. I mean, I'm not sure. I guess below 12,120 on the monthly would be the key pivot there. Weekly. Again, other than the fact we're breaking to new highs above here and here, no obvious weakness. Again, you're supposed to sell high and buy low, so we are high, relatively speaking. But it looks like such a strong move. I would not be. You might sell some to collect profits on buy positions, on long positions, but whether one would initiate shorts here is another question. I don't think one should do that in the present context. Daily. Again, no comment. 6 hourly. No comment. Look how we just had this tiny compression under this, the top of this middle, this trio of middle rails that was running to the middle section of all that price section. That tiny compression, and then blast off. And then we'll go down to the hourly. Look at this. It may need to pull back some, just because that's such a ludicrous move. It's an awkward position as a buyer. You see the strength in the market, you're going to want to buy, but it's awkward because it's just bust out to new highs. The move is so relentless. How are you supposed to get on board? It's in situations like this where normally price will suddenly reverse hard to retest or retrace. So it's a very conflicting position to be in as a long biased trader under these circumstances. And if we look at the breadth markets, the breadth of markets, the breadth charts, we've got cumulative NIAD. I mean, it looks strong. We pulled back into this rooftop here, into this ceiling. We put in a huge positive reversal on momentum, not relative to price. Not relative to price. Well, price retraced more, this retraced less, I suppose. So this is prima facie bullish. I'm slurring my words again, I'm mispronouncing, I swear. It's the COVID vaccines, and I've been ill. But I am feeling a lot better. But even so, the brain damage, they say, is cumulative. Not good. anyway. So yeah, on Harinia, if it'll let me inspect, if it will let me, there we go. So a low for a low, and then sort of thrusting and pulling back, 1, 2, 3, it looks like. There were no divergences or major signals on momentum. What was a signal was the fact that price made a higher low, this made a lower low. It wasn't leading down, it was a positive reversal, it was coiling for a big spring back up. NEHL was so close to getting back over the zero line, and similarly it was the positive reversal that you're looking for, where we got come on, let me inspect. There we go. Higher low on price, lower low on NEHL, positive reversal. That's where the reversal signal was coming from, and it was a positive reversal signal. Same here, same thing, same thing. So let's move on to precious metals. I'm long silver, and I've got some really nice positions in silver. It continues to look strong, but my only concern is the dollar on the daily has a very promising setup. We'll look at that in a moment, but if I had any additional margin available to me, I would look at having some hedge longs on the dollar. As strong as silver looks. Let's start all the way out with the quarterly. So again, the body of this candle was strong into all this thick 2 years worth of resistance of distribution, and it got pushed back into the wick of the thrust candle, the wick of this candle, sorry, pushed back into the body of the thrust candle, the body of this candle here, and it just got eaten up, and actually closed ever so slightly higher. On the quarterly, you can make the case there's a positive reversal. You can't do it on the RSI. But we came back to the 50 level, we reset on sort of the 50 level on the quarterly. So we need to stay above this level. We need to stay above 2340. Otherwise it will not look good if we go back under there, if we revisit back under there. Monthly candle, I mean, look at this. One down, one up. The down candle was brutal, the up candle was even more brutal. We threw a ball down and we got more energy back up in the bounce. We defied the laws of conservation of energy. More came out than was put in. Strong, strength. Yeah, and there we go. Look at that. Backtest on the RSI. Momentum of price volume trend is breaking out. I suppose you could say that's your negative, sorry, your positive reversal. You could say that's your positive reversal as well there on RSI. On the monthly, I think we're on our way to 32, 33, somewhere up here. That's an important quarterly line, that's an important yearly line, so it would make sense if we come up here. So maybe by summer we'll be at 32, 33. If we're very lucky. I mean, I'm getting carried away here. And every time in the past, especially in silver, when it's looked for one solitary moment like it's going to go well, usually when I feel confident enough to start showing where my positions actually are, I promise I am long. I'm long in MT4. But it's a super. I don't know. I'm not a superstitious person, but I think just psychologically, I'm so used to thinking, oh yeah, this is working out. I'll post a chart on Twitter showing where my positions are, and then it all goes horribly wrong. Sort of the moments of confidence coincides with then the turnaround, and then I'm stuck because I have to follow up, and then for the next few days it's just posting me getting obliterated. Dear. And I can just say that in words. I can just confess I've been obliterated. It doesn't need to be done in completely excruciating detail. Dear. So monthly looks good, and I'm just lazy. I mean, I've not posted like my trades and charts to Twitter for a fucking bit. I've just been quietly doing it on the quiet, and again, there's probably no correlation, but everything's been going a lot better. Twitter does feel jinxed. It feels enormously jinxed. Yeah, there's, on the monthly, that's a back test. This will be the daily, I suppose, or the weekly or something. Yeah, we're so close, and it looks good. It looks right good. If we get a similar move to this, I won't include the wick. Let's just go body to body. A proportionate move would take us to bingo bango 35. We should also nick the tops here and come into this low here again. It would take us into exactly this huge pivot area up here. Which would be perfect. From a price action perspective, it would be perfect. Here's the weekly. So we had started dumping out here. Break of trend line here, but that was the midpoint of the move. No support really offered here, except we had a little doji for a little bit. We dumped out, and then underneath we came. Stabbed down. We almost filled all the way back to the top of this wick here. So this is you can see the body of this candle was an area of low trading activity. It's just straight up. So we filled back into there, almost down to the bottom of the untraded area, almost exactly. Beautiful stuff. Here's the bull flag. This channel here, the diagonal dark blue line, the diagonal dark blue line, which are duplicates of each other. I can probably get rid of some of this. Actually, no, I'll leave it. Yeah, and you can see again we've got it came all the way back down to the initiating point of the move here, the divergence, not the low in price but the low on the indicator. It came all the way back and into that area, far deeper retracement on indicator than on price, so giving those sort of positive reversal kind of vibes. This is a very important monthly pivot, I think, yearly pivot, excuse me, at 2330, and you can see how important that was here, and all the way through, and if we went even further back in time, it's been important, an important pivot, and we've already retested it. We've retested this pivot. There's no reason to believe we need to come back and test it again. We can do, but there's no reason to believe we have to, because we've been there, we've done that, we've already gone over, under, over. We've already done it, and we're teasing right at the edge of this bull flag now, of this channel. Kiss, kiss, kiss. 3 kisses, and it's usually, again, the standard thing that happens, or you're supposed to anticipate. The right thing to do, it's coming into resistance, it's high range resistance. A channel is just a range at an angle. You're not supposed to be buying here, you're supposed to be taking profits or selling, but whatever hesitation occurs here, whatever retracement occurs here, I don't think it's going to be completely overwhelming, and it will just be probably temporary. It's possible that we bounce precisely off of here and sort of come down all the way, well, however far the market wants, but this is just such an enormously powerful move, and it's clearing these supports, it's cutting through them like butter, and it's just been a beautiful thing to trade. It just has. I mean, you just load up the chart, you see a bit of a pullback, you see a trend line breakout or something on a lower time frame, and you just buy it. You just buy it, and you throw your stop sufficiently far away. Well, that makes it sound very untechnical, doesn't it? You choose at a suitable distance that a structure point that's already been emptied out, that's already been tested, but that's also sufficiently local to not be put you at risk of too much loss. And then it just goes, it keeps going up. It's wonderful. It's lovely to trade. This is uncommon, of course. Most of the time, price does this and kills you. So this has been a dream, an absolute dream to trade, and I've made good money. Yeah, so the indications of the reversal coming to the huge support, tapping these wicks, filling this thinly traded area. Divergences all over the place. This descending wiggly price action in a descending channel into a support, and then bang. And we came up into, this was 2 months, 2 or 3 months of distribution, and we poked up into it. We went up to 23.50, and then we pulled back to 22.83, so 70 points, and that was it. All the sellers that spent all the time distributing here, when it came to a retest, we got 70 points of downside. Nothing in the grand scheme of things. Go down to the 6 hourly. Same thing. We think, how can I get on board this train? It's I've missed this move. It goes up. People trade, people exchange within a tight range of buyers and sellers. It moves up. People trade again within a narrow range. It moves up. People trade with each other again. It's a narrow range. It moves up. People trade with each other again in a narrow range. It moves up. This is healthy, very healthy price action. These consolidations, these pauses where people buy and sell, and the asset changes hands. People think about it, but yeah, we'll buy. People think about it, yeah, we'll buy. People think about it, yeah, we'll buy. Healthy pattern to see established. So really, it's horrible because again, because we're coming into highs, because of the strength of the move. You've always got to expect that it's going to, it's got to crush somebody's dreams. Price never goes completely moving in one direction. It's got to wiggle around. It's got to retrace. It's got to crush people's dreams and make them miserable and drive them insane. So you're supposed to anticipate that it's going to do that. But at the same time, you've got to also anticipate that it's just going to keep going up because of what you're seeing. In which case, you've got to hop right down on the lower time frames, the 15, maybe even the 5. And just look for an excuse to get in. Like we've broken above here. So I mean, if you want to get in urgently, I would buy at the open and just have a stop down here. If it comes down to there's this resistance, buy. If we test this area here, buy. I mean, until proven otherwise. Because you're trying to hop on board a speeding train. And either it works or it doesn't. I mean, that's the risk you're taking. That's the trade you're making. But again, my only concern was the dollar looking strong. So before we look at some more ratio charts and stuff like that, let's look at the dollar. And you can see why. We failed to make a new low. We did on close, but not on wicks. So a new closing low. But this is a steady sort of drifty. There's nothing dramatic going on here. And there's all these ridiculous articles in the news about the death of the dollar. They've been milking this story for 20 years, some of these publications and some of these bloggers and things like that. And this is not... It doesn't look very dead, does it? We're coming back into support. You can see this was a lower close, but we saw a higher close on RSI. Higher close on RSI of price volume trend. And we're in this cosy little channel. We are at a resistance. And I would say if we lose this level, if it goes back under, let's just move that a bit further out so I can actually see what the price is. 102.01. Yeah, I'd be selling again / immediately buying more silver again. But I've seen worse looking charts on the short term. This still looks god awful. Now we're on the monthly, this still looks god awful. That's a key pivot. That's a quarterly line, let's thicken that up. So the monthly still looks god awful, the weekly still looks pretty god awful. The daily, yeah. So depending, I mean, maybe this is an immediate sell. Maybe coming into this level is an immediate sell on the lower time frames. But on the daily, you've got to be aware that because it's been in this nice, unthreatening, wiggly channel, down into a strong buying zone where 2 candles basically erased all of this. These 2 strong candles, we came back into that sort of zone. We've got divergences. We've had a nice wiggle around in a channel. And look at that. So I think, yeah, again, until we get back under 102, presumptively, at least for some more of the shorter term, the dollar looks like it's got some strength coming in. I would also be tempted to sell immediately at this level with a tight stop. Yeah, I wouldn't be longing here on the dollar. I would go, yeah. So on the hourly that's a short, on the monthly it's a short, on the weekly it's a short, on the daily it looks strong. Overall then, I think we've got to say, yeah, I'll be hedging. I would think maybe we'd take out shorts and longs. Longs with a stop down here maybe, and then shorts with a stop up here, you would hedge it. Because overall we're still bearish looking. Which fits with my enjoyment of silver longs, because we're above the 14, we're looking good on gold miners against gold. However, gold has made a new high, the ratio has not, and we put in a red candle. Gold is looking more sickly. Gold is looking more sickly than silver. Inflation against real rates continuing to rise, so this should be good for gold and silver. Again, we're above the 14, momentum is positive, so that's good for silver. So this is neutral, neutral, slightly worrying, neutral bad. This is good. Silver against stocks, again we're over the 14, momentum is good, waning a little bit as we consolidate, but so this is neutral, good. So neutral bad, good, neutral to good. Silver against gold, we're strong, we're over the 14, momentum is strong. We're coming into the resistance of this. You can see there was a left shoulder, a head and a right shoulder. We're right in the thick, right in the mid zone, right in the brambles, right in the thickets of that. So this is neutral good. Neutral bad, yen against dollar. Momentum is rolling over a little bit. We are above the 14, but you can see, are we flagging out or are we changing direction? It looks a little bit listless, so neutral. So we're still mostly long, reasons to be long on silver, I say. So that's what I'm going to keep on doing. I can't even remember what I said about stocks now. Yeah, not in an ideal position, but you might want to try and get long. I think was it. Semiconductors on the weekly looks good. On the daily looks good. That's some real technical analysis there, folks. For those of us who took an interest in natural gas, now you can't see on the quarterly, but yeah, I mean this move here on the monthly, it looks like nothing, but you go down onto the daily, that's that move. That was a big move. That was a 30% move, a 30% rocket ship move. I nearly caught it. I was trying to buy these lows, it dumped out a little bit more than I missed out on the chance for that. It's momentum is waning. You can see we're in the bounds of this channel, but we're sort of breaking out of it now. We've put in this, you can see where resistance is. At that pivot, if it gets over that, that'd be a cracking buy signal. Because the quarterly at the moment looks like absolute death. And we're under this pivot here. But we are reaching the kind of levels where unless it's going to go negative like oil did, it's sell granny, buy natural gas time, and just hold it. Hold it till it's back at $4, $5, $6, and unless we're going to find an infinite supply of natural gas somewhere. Crude. Again, it's just sort of chopping, and this is a big, because it's so high. This is a logarithmic chart. It doesn't look like a whole bunch of anything, but this is fairly brutal on the lower time frames. These are brutal moves, and the eating up of this wick. That's a huge move. That's a $10 move. We're coming back into this rooftop here, but it's not looking. Even though this wick has been eaten all the way back up, it just looks tired. It's not, until it gets above, what's that, 8340. There's a bit of a pivot going on there. 8300, something like that. This is Brent, by the way, not US crude. But the weekly looks good, doesn't it? Big time divergences. And look, we retested back down on this zone that was lost. It was support, it was resistance, it became support again, and then that by itself is like a $2.5, $3 move just from buying support here. So where's US crude then? Here's the 6 hour. Yeah, other than we're at resistance, we've not come into resistance looking weak. That's just an observational resistance. You see it, but does it mean anything? Nice uranium bounce. We took out these lows. We've broke out the channel. We tested it from the underside. We diverged positively, and now we're back inside the channel above this high. Maybe that's all the UMFIT has in it, or maybe we're about to finally, if this is a bull flag, breakout and move some new highs. Maybe back up into the, above $3 would be a start. Let's not get carried away. Or it's going to roll all the way back over and fall back down, somewhere down towards these lows and this channel low here up to 1484, potentially. But we don't need to worry too much about that. High yield, boom! Everyone was shitting themselves about the banks. Well, people are buying high yield debt. I guess bailouts are good for that business. Bonds, people look like coming in again, lower rates ahead. That should be good for silver and metals. Agriculturals, the weekly guys, closed over this key resistance. Now this I did post to Twitter. I said if we get over 2014, 2015, and we did. I said it'd be go time. Weekly, monthly. Ooh, that looks even more bullish on the monthly. Quarterly. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything. Going after the daily. Again, the only issue being we're filling this gap. We've had a big move, we're filling a gap, we're at resistance. Now's not the ideal time to be buying. Goodness me if it doesn't look strong. Look at the 15-minute chart on fucking DBA. Unbelievable. Is the hourly as insane? Not quite as insane, but still somewhat insane. Yeah. So as long as we're above basically 2015, agriculturals look like they're a buy. I think that's about all we need to look at. That's all I need to say. I feel like I've waffled, but hopefully I've been clear.